In the 1940s and 50s, jazz musicians flocked to New York. They were looking for a sense of community, other musicians to play with, and above all, a place to play, where they wouldn't be thrown out for making too much noise.
There was a place way up in the Bronx, a subway ride.
Bass player Bill Crow came looking in 1950.
In the wintertime, the room was cold and the piano was out of tune, but we would still go there because it was a place they would let you play.
The late pianist Dick Katz, who came in 46, remembered some spots in Harlem, Minton's and Small's Paradise.
The way it worked was you go uptown and play all night. That's where those guys perfected their art, not on the job.
Vibraphonist Teddy Charles studied at Juilliard in the 40s and then declared himself a jazz player and discovered the loft scene, mostly illegal spaces in industrial neighborhoods where players gathered. And Charles actually moved into one.
I had to go up 5 flights of stairs with these vibes that weighed 230 pounds. I was very strong then. 5 flights of stairs and hot as hell in the summer. Boy, it was hot there. But still, as all the stuff was going on, it was great.
That 5-story hotbox was the building we now know as the Jazz Loft. Lofts like that one made possible a particular luxury, the extended jam session. Drummer Ron Free reveled in it.
When you're appearing in public, then there has to be a certain polish and a certain professionalism. But in a loft, you could make clinkers and you could learn tunes and you could practice new licks and so forth that you might not want to attempt on a paid gig because they're paying you to know what you're doing.
When nobody's around and you're just among yourselves, that's when the best jazz happens. Really incredible stuff. You take chances on things. The real excitement of jazz is taking chances, whether you make it or not. You try for something even if it doesn't happen. And that's what makes jazz really exciting.
So the priority for these players was a place they could play music, unobserved, uninterrupted, unscheduled, uninhibited. When they found 821 6th Avenue, the Jazz Loft, through friendships and word of mouth, they were ecstatic. It was in the Flower District, a commercial neighborhood that emptied out at night, and various inhabitants of the place had stocked it with pianos. There were several tuned pianos on the premises and a tuned drum kit. In this hour, we'll hear some of the jam sessions that resulted from those very sympathetic conditions. The tapes you'll hear in the next hour were recorded by photographer W. Eugene Smith, a music-loving master photographer who lived in the Loft building and set out to photograph and record everything that happened there between about 1957 and 1965. The thousands of hours of tapes were discovered in the Smith archive by Sam Stevenson, author of the new book, The Jazz Loft Project, and they were organized and researched by Stevenson and Dan Partridge at the Center for Documentary Studies at Duke. With all the pianos in the Loft building, plenty of piano players came to play. Here's our first jam session recorded unobtrusively by W. Eugene Smith in March of 1960. It's Dave McKenna, piano, Fred Greenwell, sax, Bill Takas, bass, and Ron Free, drums.